So a quick disclaimer before we get started. I'm not that good at talking. I'm not some professional like next level Andrew Tate here, but like I'm learning. So I'm gonna be teaching you guys the 3 things that I'm doing to make an effort now to learn how to talk. Because the thing is, it's speaking is very important, because I feel like a lot of people get to the age of like 14, 15 and they know all the words and stuff, but then that's when they pause and there's a halting stage in their ability to talk. So, and it's actually it's a shame, because like it's important to learn how to talk, because speaking, you cannot name a single scenario in the world where speaking better is not going to help you out. Like in every single case in the world, it's going to be human on human interaction, aka communication, which is going to require talking. So for this video, I'm going to be teaching you the 3 things I'm doing to consciously try and learn how to talk better. And by better, I mean like faster, flows better, use better words, all on the spot, and just sound like a professional. Because people take you more seriously if you do that, and you're never going to find a scenario where it doesn't help you help you in. So I've got my glass of water here in case I forget what to say, which is why I made sure it's very full. So did you know there's about 20,000 words in the English language? And most people know about 1,000 to 2,000 of the most common words, and they just live their life like that. That's 5% of the language. So that means you can know 5% of a language and be classed fluent in that language. And most people can't even speak that 5% like effectively. They just stutter, they say they do all this like rubbish stuff. Including me, by the way. When I say people, I mean like me as well, because I'm obviously like pretty bad at speaking, and that's why I'm making a conscious effort to learn. And if you're watching this video, then you probably want to learn as well. Or at least you'll be convinced that you need to learn after this video. So 5% of the language we just talked about. So the first thing you need to do, if you want to sound like more of a professional speaker, is you need to advance your vocabulary. My vocabulary is very shit. So the tips that I came across how to increase your vocabulary was because the person that I was learning how to speak from, who actually is a professional speaker, he said, watch like podcasts and stuff, and then just like write down words you don't understand. But the thing is with that, my problem with that is that like you can watch like a 3-hour podcast, and you're only going to pick up like 5 words that you don't hear, and you're going to have to be like focused the whole time and like writing them down and then googling them after. So it's like 3 hours for 5 words. It's not really like effective and stuff. I mean, you could do something like read the dictionary, but there's obviously going to be a lot of words in the dictionary that you're not gonna like ever gonna need to use. Like they're never used in language. Like the only reason 5% of words are used in the language is because most of the words literally could not be fit into day-to-day life. So you want to find words that are like broad, that will make you sound like smart and special when you say them, but also words that you can incorporate into your day-to-day life to like actually show the effect of your smartness. So what I did, and no one told me to do this, but I just did it. I went onto Google and I just typed in like 100 words you should know, or like 100 advanced words to learn, or something like that, whatever. And I just clicked the link where it said these 100 words, whatever, saw them all, didn't know any of them. And I just thought, okay, let's go one by one and just learn these words, what they mean, and just like try and memorize it and stuff like that. So I went through like the first 10 in like a couple of days, and I'm not gonna lie, I already forgot basically all of them, except for one. I remember acquiesce. I think it means to like agree or something. So I'm gonna make an effort to actually learn like all of them and try and memorize them. And then you gotta try, when you're doing this, you need to try and remember that you have to use them. You have to try and make an effort to use them as well. You can't just like remember the word, remember the meaning, and then just call it a day and move on. Obviously you have to keep coming back to it every day to make sure it's still in your brain. But you also want to try and make an effort to use it in your day-to-day life, to like get used to using it and then actually have an effect of like showing that you've learned it. So like imagine you're in a job interview, and then like they tell you something about, so you're at an engineer job interview, whatever, they tell you something about how the mechanical part here works, and you're like, I acquiesce. They're gonna be like, whoa, this guy, you just got hired. If you say that, promise you're getting hired. Obviously not like exactly like that, but you know what I mean? Like in the right context, you say like a word that makes sense, obviously. And you just want to sound like as sweaty as possible. Because that's the number one benefit about using like advanced words. You get more credit than you're actually owed. So people will see you as more like competent and more intelligent when you do it. So you can be in competition. If you want to go in for a job interview and you're competing with people who are way smarter than you, way more experienced than you, make way more money than you, whatever. In like an interview or something, you can literally blow them out the water by just speaking better than them. And the people that are hiring you are gonna look at you and they're gonna think you know more. They're gonna like respect you more. They're gonna just see there's something more about you. So that the more the interview goes on, the more you smash it. They're gonna be like proper into you. And that's the thing. It's important to like. Also, it's important to speak because you need to be able to convey your ideas and portray them to other people to get it to stick in their head as well. You need to be good at persuading people as well. And obviously, like the longer a time goes on in like a job interview or a date, whatever, the longer you can speak properly, the more they'll be convinced, the more you persuade, and the more you can just win them over, and you'll get to that end goal, whatever it is at the end that you're looking for. So that's the first thing. You need to learn your vocabulary. Second thing, you need to learn to construct sentences, especially off the top of your head, like quickly. So this video, by the way, is completely non-scripted. It's just off the top of my head. No edits at all. I've made a vow that I'm not going to edit in any of my videos anymore. All off the top of my head, just because I need to improve speaking. And it's going to touch on in the third point that I'm going to mention after this. The second point, you need to construct sentences. And the guy that I watched who was teaching me how to speak said, you should do this by writing. So writing is pretty good. And funnily enough, if you watched some of my older videos, you would know that I dabbled into a bit of copywriting, which is probably the number one best way to like write and to learn how to like write like persuasively or like convincingly, any kind of way you want. To write that off the spot and just get better at writing. If you get better at writing, you get better at constructing sentences. And then you start doing that more and more, you get faster at it. And then once you can just construct sentences, you'll be able to like translate it from like the writing like experience to like saying it like in your head, bam, bam, bam. Start reloading sentences like mad. So yeah. If you don't know what copywriting is, yeah, you don't even need to like get into that kind of stuff. All I would suggest is you start writing, like you just pick like a product or something. Look around your desk, pick like these headphones or something. Well, you probably can't even see that in shot, but headphones, yeah. You've got headphones on your desk. Imagine you sold these headphones, and you need to try and make a persuasive piece of text to try and sell these headphones. So how would you write that? It's got to be like at least an A4 long, side long. And you need to try write like a letter to like a customer, try to convince them to write these headphones. And just write it out. Don't use like your little sweaty words in this. Just try and make it simple, persuasive, convincing. And just try make the sentences flow correctly. Because that's the thing when people talk and about like when people write as well. They can have like good sentences and stuff, but sometimes they won't flow correctly. So make sure that they flow correctly. That's why you want to like read back at it. But there's a saying I came across once where it said, write drunk, edit sober. So what that means is basically when you're writing it first, just write it completely like free mind, just like go crazy with it and just write. And then once you've like done a good chunk, go back over it, make it better and edit it and make it flow better and all that stuff. But that initial period of writing drunk, if you do that more and more, that's obviously going to be like your freestyle writing. So when you do that more and more, it's going to improve slowly, and then you'll have to edit less, and it will just, obviously this is going to take time, this process. But the end goal is to be that you can just freestyle words quickly and it will make perfect sense, it will just flow perfectly. And obviously that's going to take time. This is not like a 2-day process. This will take you months to learn, but I think it's important enough, and it's definitely worth a shot, because speaking just, it literally controls the world. Everything that's ever done is done by speaking. Every important thing, every idea that someone ever had, every exchange that's ever gone on in the world is done through communication and speaking. So that's the second point. Get better at writing, constructing sentences, flowing sentences. Just try to do it quicker every time and make it make sense. So that's the first and second thing, to expand your vocabulary, learn how to construct sentences via writing. And the third thing, and this is actually the best tip, and this is actually what I'm doing right now, is to talk in front of a camera. Because the thing is, you could practice talking by talking in front of a person, but if you're talking in front of a person, then that person's gonna have at least 50% input into the conversation. So it's not even like you talking. It's gonna be like you half talking, half listening, but then you've got all that extra time to think about stuff and all that. Talking on camera is by far the hardest way to talk, especially if you know there's no safety net. If you're talking live, which is why I'm doing live streams now. I've already done one, I'm gonna do some more. But live streams, and even just camera, but camera with no edits, like now, when you're talking with no safety net, that's like the be all end all of talking. You're gonna get so much better, so much quicker there, because that's when the pressure is at maximum. Like I said, this is not scripted, it's all off the top of my head, but if I mess up now, I know that I have to restart the whole thing, because there's no edits allowed in this thing. I have my water, that's my little 5-second distraction that I can use to gather some thoughts. But it's all just go, go, go. And yes, I am going to be bad. Yes, I have made mistakes in this video, and I will continue to make mistakes in coming videos. But the point is, if you're bad at the start, if you do it bad quickly, then you're going to get better quickly, and then you'll eventually get to a point where you're good. So that's what actually one of the main ideas I had behind this YouTube channel was, it's going to force me to indirectly get better at speaking. Because even back in the day when I was making them gaming videos at the start of the channel, I was still talking over them, and that's live commentating on the spot. So I knew that, okay, no matter how this channel goes, I'm going to still learn how to talk in some way or another. So that's why I would always recommend someone to start a YouTube channel, because it's literally free. It takes no time out of the day. It takes let's say you make a video that's 20 minutes long. It'll take you 25 minutes of your day to make that video, record it, post it, whatever. You literally don't need to do anything fancy about it. So that's why I recommend starting a YouTube channel and just talking in front of a camera. When you're talking in front of a camera, it's all you, 100% input from you. There's no one on the other end. Obviously the people behind the camera, but they can't talk. Just you, and you've got that pressure of thinking that potentially thousands of people are watching this. Obviously not for me, because no one watches these videos, but it's a bit more of less pressure. But obviously one day, anyone could come back to this, you're gonna get people watching this. So you practice on camera, 100%. And lives are even better, like I said, because lives, there is actually no safety net. Even now, I say I'm not going to edit this, there's no safety net, it's basically live. But basically live is not the same as live. If I really, really mess up, I can really I can edit, or I can restart, or I can do all that stuff. But I'm not going to, because I already said I'm not going to. But that's the thing, that's what you need to be doing. You need to be talking on camera, even if you're not going to start a YouTube channel, whatever. Even if you just want to just turn a camera on and just pretend like you're talking for an audience, or pretend like you're giving a speech or something. Just do that, because it's gonna make the effect is gonna be the same. You're gonna be pretending like you're talking to I'm pretending right now I'm talking to thousands of people, even though this video's gonna get 42 views, probably tops. But it's just that the concept of having that pressure that you can't mess up, and you have to go. And obviously you're gonna get better over time, and that's when the magic's gonna kick in. I guess it's bad today, it's going to be bad tomorrow, it's going to be bad next month. But a few months down the line, if you actually implement these 3 strategies that I've been talking about, you will actually get so much better at speaking so much quickly. And then you'll actually notice a massive increase in success in basically anything you're trying to do. So you're trying to go on dates, or get a job interview, or any scenario. Like I said, speaking, super important. So hopefully these 3 things that I just shared today are going to help you speak better. And that's going to be it for today's video. First take, first try, all complete. See you in the next one.